continuing on with my French story and answering questions. So this question is, what are the main cultural differences between France and England? Now, culture runs deep, and I wouldn't say that I know fully the ins and outs of the culture of France. But there are a couple of things that I can mention that I do feel and notice with my family and the people that I've come into contact with. So, you know, the whole thing that when we used to come on holiday here, we'd be like, oh no, it's 12 o'clock, we've missed the shops. And they all close at lunchtime for 2 hours. And some of them, they have different times, so some of them close at 12:30, some of them close at 1 till 3. And just kind of getting your head around all the different horaires, the timetables of every shop, depending on what you need at that time, can be a bit tricky. But the good side about that is that everyone who works in that kind of business where you stop for 2 hours in the middle of the day, well, schools do it too, that you basically have a proper rest or a proper play or a proper eat. So, you know, you can have nice long sit-down meals with your colleagues or your friends or your family. You can go to other people's houses in that time if you're at school, and you know, it's not a big mad rush to kind of get packed lunch down you, or, you know, sit and have a sandwich at your desk while you're eating. I think that's quite a sad aspect of living in the UK, and that's a cultural thing. You know, that's what we're doing. Life is stressful, life is fast, and you have to kind of squeeze in your physical and mental health with what you eat. You have to kind of, you know, and what you drink. You know, you drink coffee just to get you through the day. Whereas here, you know, if you want to, like we just went round to a friend's house, they're not sleeping terribly well at the moment because their young child has got a cough. So we're not sleeping very much in the night, which keeps them up. So they both had a siesta while we went off swimming. And I got back and they were kind of yawning a bit because they were getting revved up for the afternoon. And you know, we're in France, we're not in Spain, but you know, people still do siestas if they want to. You have that opportunity. So you know, life is slower paced, especially in the country where I live, in the Pyrenees. It is probably very different if you're in the centre of Toulouse or if you're in Paris or any big city. But that's what it's like round here. It's pretty laid back. That's another thing, the laid back thing that I wanted to talk about that popped into my mind earlier in the day, was, so if you're on a road, anywhere, you're on a road, generally not the main roads, but the smaller country lanes, if there are two people stopped, you know, so one car's this way, one car's that way, and they're stopping and chatting, then you're waiting behind, you just kind of, mostly you just turn your engine off and wait for them to finish their conversation, because people and conversations come first in France, and that is what is most important and the most kind of nourishing and key to people's lives here. So you don't beep your horn and go, oi, like, hurry up, I got somewhere to get to. You know, you just have to be patient. They're doing their thing, they're having a nice chin wag, and in the end, they'll finish their conversation, then you can go on your day. So, you know, you can't really be in a rush either with your life. You have to slow down yourself. And I think that's really nice. So when you go on walks as well, everyone always says hello, no matter where you are. And if you see the local farmer, like we do down there, sometimes it's the wife, sometimes it's the husband, then you stop and you have a chat and you ask, you know, some questions. How are your sheep? How's life? And you know, they tell you about what's going on in their life with a big fat grin. Or what I know some farmers that are very kind of angry, po-faced, sad characters that are very angry. Did I say that already? Also in our village, the other side of the valley. Yeah, not everyone is totally happy, obviously, but you know, the people we've come across have been really lovely, and our neighbours are fantastic. That's another thing. So for example, you've got your school day in England, and you've got the parents of your kids' friends, and you've got play dates and stuff. So I always felt like when we lived in England that play dates were also kind of squeezed into the day, and they were generally reasonably short. There weren't many opportunities when Heidi was invited to go and sleep the night, and it didn't really happen our way either. Heidi was a bit younger, so that could have been a factor, but you know, that kind of openness and really delving into someone else's family and really feeling like you're part of their family, you know, that didn't happen. You were kind of like this little side add-on that happened every so often, whereas here you kind of feel like you're part of this huge community, and that is very nourishing and lovely to be a part of. So Heidi now has loads of play dates, and we organise things within our family a lot more as well. And when Heidi was at a normal kind of regular local school, loads of children would come round for Goute. Well, not loads, I mean in lots of different times in the week people would come here for Goute, which is like snack after school. French people, that's kind of a cultural thing. There's always Goute because they usually have dinner a lot later. And then Heidi would have Goute at other people's houses, and that was just kind of really regular. And sometimes I would stay for that, and sometimes I would go off and do my own thing as the adult, and then come back later and pick her up or whatever. Or it would be so close by that Heidi would just walk or cycle back from that person's house when it was all finished and over, or it would turn into dinner at their house and Heidi wouldn't be back till 8 or 9. So yeah, that's hyper différent. That's really different too. Let me have a think. How can I forget? The French are hot on markets, as you may have heard. And if you would like to know more about French markets, I do have another YouTube channel called Couture, which is spelled J-O and then separate word Couture, which is C-O-U-T-U-R-E. Basically there you will see me in lots of different markets, and I'm usually interviewing different people at their stands and what they sell, and I ask them questions about, you know, why did they decide to start up that particular stand selling those particular produce, and usually they're a small artisanal type, creative types. And I'm showing you Saint-Giron, I'm showing you Montbrun Bocage, Salise du Salat, and various other ones, because I also do market stands in the summer with my couture, my Jo Couture sewing entreprise, my business. And markets are like an extension of community. So for example, where I live here, there's lots of small villages and some hamlets, you know, where there isn't a market and there isn't even any shop. There might be an église if you're lucky, a church, and that might be about it really. Then sometimes there aren't even churches, it's just a couple of houses. And so people go to market to meet and to converse and to communicate with one another, and to like stand around and having a chat while buying their vegetables, while getting their wine for the week, while maybe choosing a new pair of trousers, or getting in some threads for sewing, or getting a repair done with some fabrics, some garments with all that people do at markets. There's just it's just like another mini world all of its own, and I think that's a really rich, vibrant part of the French community, which isn't really the same thing in England. I've been to markets in Cambridge, for example, and a few in London, and I'm sure a bit of that goes on, but it's like whip round, let's get what we need, and then let's go back home and, you know, do the cooking or carry on with your family day. So yeah, people have more time here. Yeah, so that's really nice. And people advertise things in markets, you know, their businesses, they advertise new schools, people relating to, what do you call it, when you have oh my god, like government changes, then they'll put up a stand, and then you can talk to them about, you know, different policies and things that are coming up, and you know, so you have this whole variety of things going on that you can either be part of and go and mingle, or you can do it quick if you want to and it's raining and cold. I'm going to talk about French leisure time and kind of entertainment. That's very different, I'd say, in the country where we are. Obviously, when you're in Toulouse and cities, then you've got all sorts of high quality cultural things that you can go to. And for us, you know, it's pretty quick and easy to go there. It's an hour's drive away, or you can hop on the train. But in the country, in the summer, for example, there's lots of small festivals, and some of them are so small. It might be, for example, in Goute, they had a seed swapping festival, which you just would never see in England. Who would want to swap seeds? You just go and buy a packet and stick it in. In England, yeah. So, and you'll have, you know, someone bring along their bongo, someone brings along their a didgeridoo, someone brings along their guitar, and you light a big bonfire, and someone's making crêpes, and stick on some other music if there aren't many musicians around, and have a dance, have a boogie, drink some local ale from a local company nearby, or some cider. But I would say that it's pretty low key when it comes to the festivals that I've been to here. There are some big festivals, but you'd have to go to other parts of France to go and get that. And yeah, so I'd say that entertaining yourself is different here. You go to people's houses for dinner parties, and like our neighbour, all of that family are really musical, and loads of her friends are really musical, so we'd go up there. She's almost doing a monthly, but we've done 2 already up there, and we do all sorts of kind of clapping things together with rhythms and groups. We do singing. We tried this crazy, I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, basically you get the picture. We're all coming together and we're doing our own thing in our houses. And you know, that happens in England as well, but you kind of have to probably rely on that a bit more than going to the pub, or I don't know, what do you do in England? I've forgotten. I didn't used to go out very often because I never had the money for it. Oh yeah, cinema, or I don't know. There is a cinema here which you can enjoy. They have version originale, so you can go and see the American or English version if you want to. Obviously there's some nice restaurants dotted around, so you can go into a restaurant. I'm going to go tomorrow night with a friend who I met on the market, and I'm going to have vegan freshly made pasta. I've rung up about that, and they're going to do that for me. And yeah, it's kind of rustic and down to earth, nice little place with some foreigners who run it in Saint-Giron. I think I'll stop there because, you know, you can go on and on about cultural differences, but they're some of the main ones that kind of touch us and that I can think of right now as a family. Yeah, let's move on to the next question with the next video. See you soon. Bye.